So to sync up the audio, do you want to do the clap?
I can. My clap might be louder. Ready?
Okay.
Tell me when.
So first off, what's your name and what do you do?
My name is Miss Brown. I am the television production teacher here at Addicts Middle School. I teach you.
And what do you think your main goal is? Like right now, just not really a topic. Like, what's your main goal at the moment?
My main goal in my classroom is definitely to teach students that television is teaching them, and to help them better understand the process and the communication level that they're receiving from so many different mediums that are considered communication.
And how do you think you got into film?
How did I get into film? That's a good one. I actually got into film when my parents bought me my first VHS, Peter Pan.
Okay.
I loved that movie so much. It was a cartoon, an animation, yet it just resonated with me because I felt I was one of those little lost kids with imagination that I just couldn't seem to store anywhere. And that's what really got me into film. And then my parents bought me my first camera at the age of 9.
And was it like Betamax? I go through everything.
Not that old. I had it was kind of coming out of that stage of Betamax into the VHS era with my particular footage and what I did. It wasn't as expensive and lavish as you have here. The clarity definitely was not.
I can tell that's from back then. Because my dad has an old VHS camera from like 30 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
that
it's kind of pushing about 30. Yeah, don't want to tell my age or anything, but yeah, they probably came out about 30 years ago. I was a little more in the back end of when they were released, I'll say.
And what do you think got you into teaching?
Really, that's a good question, actually. What got me into teaching was I've always wanted to teach students and teach kids what I learned. When I was a 9th grader in high school, in my English honors class, I had a teacher by the name of Gaines Wright, and I struggled in school. I struggled when it came to grammatical writing. I struggled when it came to the English form and the concepts, and it just didn't grasp me until I got into his class, because he used movies to teach through. I learned plot, grammar, grammatical errors, structure, climax, all of those things that really intrigued me. And I felt for a student like me to have struggled and then to be able to turn that around just simply because a teacher was able to take what I love, blend it with something I struggle with, it made me open up. And when I started to go into different career endeavors and I finished school, I went into a different career at corporate America, but I always came back to teaching because I always loved working with kids. I always wanted to work with young people. And when the opportunity opened up here at Addicts for the television production program, I just really stepped out on faith and applied for the position, and here I am today.
And that was less than a year ago, right?
Less than a year ago. I've taught with the Broward County school system in different subject areas, but I never could quite find something within my subject area of communications.
And from a filmmaker standpoint, what do you think is your favorite part, like favorite step of filmmaking? The post-production, production, or pre-production?
The production. I love being on set and working with talent. I love seeing what was created and thought of during pre-production start to come to life during production. I would say that's the beauty of it to me, because I feel when you have a stage or a platform of people who are all working on a common goal, and to see that teamwork, that unison start to happen, that engine start to rev, it's where magic happens, and I think that's the beauty of filmmaking.
So how do you think the Addicts broadcasting program will blend with the Cambridge?
I think it's going to be a great marriage between the two. Cambridge is a global communication avenue of academics, project-based learning, and so many other endeavors that they offer. I think the television production program is going to be able to really challenge that global communication aspect, where we'll be able to start to really go outside of the school in our measures of reaching people and learning about the broadcasting communications program.
And how do you think the future of filmmaking is going to be? Like in 10 years, how do you think it's going to be?
I honestly believe that the future of filmmakers will be in great hands with people such as yourself. As long as we have great filmmakers, people that are creative, students that are eager, willing to be their own version of a Spike Lee, a Nicholas Johnson, a different great directors that we have. If they learn to tell the stories, and as long as we have great storytellers, I believe our film family will always be in good hands.
And what you said there is like it doesn't really matter about the equipment you have. It matters if you're a storyteller.
That's it. I started out, as we said earlier, with a VHS. I didn't have any software to edit. I used to edit in camera, and I would simply tell stories about things happening in my family. And if I was to go back and look at some of those tapes today, it would probably be very hilarious and very dark. However, it was all I needed. It was all I needed because I had the story here, and all I wanted to do was share it with the world.
How do you think the students are here at ADX?
The students are great. One of the good things I have access to is a melting pot of students. It's very diverse, so that way it brings so many different ideas, creativity, different levels of learners are in my classroom, and I think that gives a great even platform because they're able to support each other. You know, some students are weak in this area, some students are strong in this area, and they're able to actually work in groups to build and learn and do a lot of cooperative learning with each other. And I feel those students are going to be a great foundation for the students to come here at ADX.
Okay, so in the studio, you said that your favorite part of television production is production, right?
Yes.
And like, let's say there's kids here like who want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think it's going to, like, what would you like kind of just go all out, or you like just go in increments? Like, okay, this is how you do this, and then that, and then you go higher up.
I am a project-based teacher. I love working hands-on. So I see and assess the level of knowledge that the student has about the broadcasting area or the communication aspect, and then I grow from there. A room full of students would definitely give me a audience to engage, but my structure of teaching is based on 3 simple things. I lecture, I discuss, we lab. I do a lecture with the students that actually introduce them to the information and the equipment that we may be getting ready to use. Then I give the students the opportunity to discuss it with me on the next day, where everything they've taken in, they now can discuss it with me, tell me what are their questions, what are their concerns, what don't they understand. And then we do 2 full days of them just utilizing the equipment hands-on, them practicing with it, them getting to know the equipment. And I believe this is the best platform, especially in the beginning stages, to introduce a student or an individual who's never worked with a piece of equipment before. And as the school year progresses, we increase our lab days. They do more hands-on, they do more projects, because at that point, they've pretty much learned, and it's kind of like they're able to come here, grow, and go.
So your goal here at ADX is for a kid who doesn't know anything about television production, doesn't know how to use a camera, and then by the end of the year to have them like know how to do everything from pre-production, like scripting, production, directing, and post-production editing?
Correct. My goal is on the 6th grade level, they learn the basics. So they learn the basics of the camera, they learn the basics of the editing software we use, Adobe Premiere, and they just learn the structure. 6th grade, the emphasis is really on pre-production. We really emphasize pre-production so they can have the organization, they can have the understanding. By the time they get to the 7th grade level, they're able to really engage more in the production aspect and the post-production, because now they're in their second year. They're learning how to add more graphics. They're adding additional software like After Effects and things of that nature to their projects and stuff like that. And hopefully by their 8th grade level is when we're ready to compete. And the 8th grade level is when we compete, which is in FSPAs, the Florida Scholastic Press Association competition. We compete on the 8th grade level in those particular state competitions. And that's what the preparation is for students to be able to have the avenues to go on and make this a career field. You know, they don't have to wait until they're in high school or college with a degree in order to be an entrepreneur in this particular setting. They can start today.
Do you think Alex's film program is going to change within the next 5 years? Like,
yes. Addict's film and television production broadcast program will change in the next 5 years because we will evolve. The foundation will have been set by then. Right now, it's really just laying the foundation of this is what we're doing and having the kids understand and buying into the process of what we're doing. Yes, we will evolve within the next 5 years. I mean, look out for us. We will be state competitors in the next 5 years. And not just competitors, we will be state winners within the next 5 years.
So the FSPA is around where? Like what?
The FSPA is held in Orlando, Florida. So it's right around the corner. It's a state competition, and then from there they have a national competition which travels to different states. So we want to definitely work within the next 5 years to compete on the state level, and then within the next 10 years definitely to start competing on the national level. But that definitely takes a lot of fundraisers, sponsorship. So if you are a film director, producer, production company, and you're looking for somewhere to invest in a group of young students, definitely look into Addicts Middle School.
This is basically an advertisement.
That was the advertisement. I know I'm on Lima Films. He gets a lot of viewers. I'm looking for it.
Are you trying to teach kids something from going to the FSPA and then the national competitions?
Yes, I want the students to learn and see that it's not just them that's doing it, that this is a platform where there are many cultures, many ethnicities that are working in the broadcast arena, and the fact that there's so many opportunities for individuals to tell their story. I also feel that going to FSPA, it gives students from an area such as Addicts Middle School the opportunity to compete on a level or experience a atmosphere of positive competition that they may never experience. And I think that gives them the energy and the focus to simply say, this is something I may want to do in real world. This is something that I would want to do for my career. So the overall goal for FSPAs is not just to win, but it's to definitely teach the kids how to work in a time management, career-oriented setting.
And what do you think is your favorite part of working with young kids?
Students like you. My favorite part of working with young kids is basically seeing the aha moment happen. Definitely with 6th graders, you're no longer in 6th grader, but seeing the aha moment, seeing them start from pre-production, go into production, go into post-production, and then seeing their faces when the finished product happens, and it's like, wow. I did that. I created that. I love that aha moment of them being able to connect with the fact of what I connected with, taking my imagination and allowing it to manifest physically and see it and be able to share it to the world.
Okay, that's it for my interview.
That's
for
it?
my review, yeah.
All right.
And now do you want to interview me?
I think the camera might have stopped.